Welcome back to Royalty. I'm your host, Crown Vic, and today we are going to discuss the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me on the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. See, a lot of people, when they read the Bible, they tend to think about a God outside of themselves. They tend to look to the sky when kind of like the signature, at least when I was younger. I used to always kind of like pray, look to the sky, and then we have this psychology that there is somebody judging us constantly in the sky, above the clouds somewhere. I remember vividly just when I got on the plane for the first time as a child, looking over the cloud, trying to find where the angels are and where is heaven. Where's the pearly gates? I don't see it anywhere. Where is God? At the same time, during that same age, of course, I thought if I were to fall out this plane, I would bounce on those clouds. So, as you can see, that was a childish mindset. And this is, although I was a child thinking this way at that time, there are people who are adults who kind of still have this mentality. If not, bouncing off of the clouds, then definitely it's someone above us looking down at us, judging us about every little thing that we're doing based on a book that was written over 2,000 years ago. All right. So when I read the Bible in this passage, the 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I do not necessarily look to the clouds, right? Just like I don't think that I will bounce off of the clouds if I fell down onto the clouds. I don't believe that there is some man on a throne judging me for every deeds and desires, hidden desires that I do behind closed doors. Right? So, when I think about the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. What do I think about this, guys? See, I think very similarly to how what they describe in the Tao Te Ching. The Tao is the mother of 10,000 things. Those who think they know the Tao do not know the Tao. And those who know the Tao do not discuss the Tao. So, by this, of course, I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly the quote. But it is the being behind beings, right? It is the subconscious mind. As I've discussed in previous videos about how I believe how karma actually works. So, karma is described as action. What type of action, right? Because a lot of times when we are dealt with karma, it's not that we want bad things to happen to us on a conscious level. Unconsciously, we're unaware of certain actions that we are doing, certain actions that we are enabling, not only for ourselves, but how other people respond to us. So, when you get a hold of this conscious mind and bring the consciousness to the unconscious, or better yet, bring the unconscious to the light, that's when you are becoming more aware of not just your subconscious mind, but how your subconscious mind is playing a role in the reality that we are presented with, right? So when we talk about the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, we're talking about this being the unconscious mind that creates all of reality. So when we get a hold and really center in this being, we should not want anything else, right? Nothing outside of yourself can satisfy what is being consciousness, truly being awake, which is the light. All right. So, for example, let me give you an idea of just think about anything. All right. Just whatever comes to your mind. If you were sitting right now, matter of fact, I was gonna say this. Let me do it. I'm gonna go with scenario one first. If it was your birthday and you had a birthday cake right in front of you right now and blew out the candles, but before you blew out the candles, everybody said, make a wish, and you blew out, all right? And of course, the saying is you should not tell anybody your wish because otherwise your wish would not come true. I want you to just think about this. What is that wish that you would wish for, right? Or better yet, I was going to go to scenario number 2, which is if you won the lottery today, what would you buy? What would you spend it on? And whatever you would spend it on, ask yourself if that would make you happy. And if it would make you happy, how long would that make you happy? All right, some of us think that if I bought a G-Wagon, that G-Wagon will make me happy for a long, long time. But guess what? I remember seeing a video of a lady who bought a G-Wagon, thought it was all gravy train. And then it turns out the G-Wagon had a lot of problems. They have what they call the death wobble. All right? I don't know if you ever heard of that, but basically what that is that as they're driving along a highway or just a random street, but just imagine being on a highway, and all of a sudden the Jeep starts to just rock back and forth for no apparent reason. You just got it off for the lot not too long ago, maybe a week or two ago, within the month, and it's already having these problems. And then when you bring it into the dealership or bring it into the mechanic and explain what happened, they just shrug it off and say, "Oh, that's just a death wobble." The death what? Like it's a normal thing. Like what, I'm just supposed to just drive with the death wobble? Are you crazy? And now she's just having all these problems with the Jeep that she just bought, right? So, in other words, what I mean that the thing that you will buy with that lottery ticket will only make you happy for a period of time, usually. And oftentimes the lottery winners don't like telling everybody what that they won because that invites a lot of problems, distant relatives that want to suddenly appear in their life and ask them for money, ask them for favors, X, Y, and Z. Now, you have those people who lose more than they gain after winning the lottery ticket. Then, of course, you have, the handful that actually, I guess, they do enjoy their life now that they won. Usually, these people are hardworking anyway. Like the ones, I remember seeing 2 scenarios where this one couple won the lottery ticket. I think it was like 63 million, and they pretty much spent it on their hometown, and they stay true to themselves. In other words, they spend it on their bringing their family together, and so far they're doing pretty good. And there was another one who worked pretty much his entire life, and then won, I think it was $10,000 a day for the rest of his life. So that sounds like a pretty sweet setup. But, of course, he's around fake friends who don't even really, don't really get along with him per se. He throws these parties, and these people that come to his parties don't really, they're just superficial friends, in other words. They're not really the friends who are there for him, in the beginning when he's down and out by himself. All right. So ultimately, he believes that his money is what keeps his friends around. And oftentimes, like let's say, for example, the scenario with that $63 million couple who won the lottery ticket. So far, it seems like they're having a pretty good deal. All right. But ultimately, the vast majority of us, who always bidding to win the lottery ticket, and even for the majority of the ones who win, they win it and then they lose it, and they find themselves in a worse shape than they were in before they won it. All right, and also the ones who constantly bidding for the lottery, spending all their money on lottery tickets. You're chasing a feeling that is all constantly fleeting. But what if I were to tell you that the feeling is already here inside of us? And that's what the Psalms 23 is all about. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restored my soul. So I was just thinking about this as I was listening to Joe Dispenza. He was talking about, centering our emotional being into elevated emotional and in an elevated emotional state, right? And so I find myself doing this constantly as I'm driving, right? Whether I'm driving or whatever I'm doing, I'm reminded that, all right, I gotta stay centered. Every time, let's say someone were to cut me off, I just smile with my heart, smile with my face, and then as a result, my day starts to just become a lot more smoother. Whereas if I were just to be upset, constantly cursing at somebody in my own mind, or emotionally I'm impatient, I'm frustrated, and so on and so forth, I find that my day starts to give me more reason to be frustrated. So today, for example, I kept peaceful, I kept smiling with my heart. I'm starting to practice smiling more, all right? And as I'm smiling more and being more at peace and centering myself into, I even remember I told myself I want to be a happy person. Like I found myself being more like Squidward or SpongeBob, like just miserable all the time. Like, why are you miserable? Like as adults we understand Squidward, but our natural self is not Squidward. When we were little, we didn't understand Squidward. When we were kids, right? And why should we understand Squidward even now as adults? All right. So as adults, we need to get back to that childhood self. We need to get back centered to the Lord being our shepherd, and we shall not want anything outside of ourselves. However, if you were to manifest X, Y, and Z, that should be a symptom of the effect that you have done. After you've done the inner work, after you have done the inner work and align your own chakra centers, so that you are happy regardless of what happens in your life. It doesn't matter if you got mansions or if you got a small house or if you got a small box. Be happy. Figure out a way how you can always be happy no matter what the situation. Once you center yourself in this thought process and keep smiling, keep finding the joy in living, that's when you are going down the right path. That's when the Lord becomes your shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So that means even during dark times, even through the struggle, you just got to continuously think about peace. Think about blissful times. Matter of fact, don't even think about the problem. As Joe Dispenza has said, as you constantly think about the problems, you're going to constantly find yourself attributing to those problems. So rather than think about the problems all the time, think about what you wish to see. Not even so much a solution. You can think about the solution to the problem. Like, okay, let's say you are $50,000 in debt. I imagine my debt being wiped out. Instead of thinking about your $50,000 debt being wiped out, think about what would it be like to win $200,000. What would it be like to win $1 million? What would I be doing with that much money? How would I be spending it? And how can I bring other people together so I can truly enjoy, me living this financially free life, right? So during the struggle, during the valley of the shadow of death, think about what you wish to experience. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Anointed my head with so much peace, so much serenity, that my cup runneth over. I don't even have enough space inside my body to sustain all this peace. Have you ever been around someone who is so peaceful, so cool, that they just make you at peace, make you calm down, You want those people around you, right? Like, oh man, this person's so cool, so happy. I just love being around this person, and I want this person around me all of the time. My cup runneth over with all this peace. If you can stay centered, no matter what struggle, no matter what you're going through, your cup will runneth over, and it will affect those around you. And that's where I'm trying to get to myself, right? As I'm talking, as I'm saying all this stuff, I'm going through the same, I'm saying this on YouTube to whoever's listening or watching this video, but I'm also watching this video, especially during my editing process. So when I'm like speaking, I'm speaking not just to the viewer, but I'm speaking to myself, because I gotta remind myself all the time, though as it says, through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. My cup runneth over. That's exactly where I'm getting myself, reminding myself of being. I just think about this one quote that I saw one time on TikTok. It says, "Keep on living, man." LIVIN. This man seems so cool. I'm like, man, if I could just get to that state where I'm like just cool and I'm just constantly calm, I'm constantly chill, no matter what. If I can get to that state where my cup runneth over, my cup is filled with so much oil, so much peace that it runneth over, and I'm just like, just keep on living, man. LIVIN. Man, that's exactly where I'm trying to be. Not necessarily mansions and all that great. That'll be great and benefit. But first, primary, what I want is to be that happy, chill, calm, collected person first. Constantly smiling, right? Constantly have a smile. One of those happy people. I remember listening to Eminem's song, Rock Bottom, when he said, "This one goes out for all the happy people who have really nice lives," right? Let me be one of those happy people with those really nice lives. With that really nice life. I want to be that now. And I have to practice doing that every single day. And I'm going to talk about more about that in a moment. So hopefully I don't forget. So I'm going to talk about meditation. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Meditation. So as we meditate, right, constantly just observe yourself. Don't even try to visualize so much, because it's not really about that, although you can. But more so, see if you can be as present as you can be with yourself by observing yourself. If your mind starts to wander into negative thoughts, center it back to positive thoughts. If your emotion starts to center on negativity, and by negativity, it's not always, this person, that person. It could be negativity, could be impatience, right? So any unwanted emotion, any unwanted thought is considered negative. So if you can meditate, starting out with 1 minute, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 30 minutes, then an hour, and then throughout, be mindful of your thoughts and emotions throughout your day, you can achieve what Psalms 23 is talking about, the 23rd Psalm. When the final verse says, once again, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Don't you wish to dwell in the house of the Lord forever, where your cup runneth over? The 23rd Psalm. This is my thoughts on the 23rd Psalm. Just thought I would drop this video out. So if you watch this video, give me a thumbs up, comment below on your thoughts on the 23rd Psalm. This has been Crown Vic. Thank you for joining me in the palace. See you next time.